Hey, what's up, everybody? This your girl, Sadie Star.
Your boy Tone Loc Hydro is in the house.
And you was watching
The Morning Crush.
Hey, what's up? This your girl, Sadie Star.
Your boy Tone Loc Hydro is in the house.
And we have a special guest in the building on today. We have Mr. A.J. Johnson.
Yes. In the house today, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, man?
Everything. I'm good to be here. New year, new things, new plans, ready to move forward and lead the way with leadership.
Yes. We had AJ on the show last year with Will. He was talking to us about his book, I Am My Life's Coach. You know, he's an inspiration around the world. He's been traveling to different continents, spreading the word, spreading his book. You know, he's doing big things. We want everybody to start to follow him. You know, he's a very good inspirational speaker and, you know what I'm saying, a big motivator to me and Sadie. Yes. So we're going to ask AJ a couple questions about where he at in life and his accomplishments and his goals that he set for himself for 2020.
Yes.
Well, you know, I love the seat, you know. I feel like a king in the throne right now at the Content House. You know, going into this new year, I remember that interview we talked about. We were just laughing. That was actually my first interview.
Oh, man.
Wow,
with you
that's
you
a good
guys,
thing.
I was a virgin. You guys broke me in and gave me an opportunity to really express myself. And I believe that's how I developed into this character that I am today. I was really shallow, taking my time, just trying to pace it out. But anyway, the book is doing well. I Am My Life Coach is not just a book you read. It's not a love story. It's not my story. It's actually a training manual. The book has been condensed down into a student edition since the last time we spoke. And it's now being taught throughout Chicago. The company Invisible Crown is a coaching firm, so we are vendors for CPS as well as Cook County, but we didn't stop there. I'm looking to be an international coaching firm, so I'm looking to plant the company in another country so that they can get the same opportunities that my city receives from me right now, and that's just unlearning everything we learn and just start over. So it's a training manual. It's basically helps you develop your character. It helps you work on your attitude. It helps you work on the things that makes you who you need to be in order to get the results you're looking for in the world, which is something they don't teach in schools, something they don't teach, period.
Right. They ain't taught me nothing like that in school. You know, we was basically, you know what I'm saying, 1, 2, 3 ABCs, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good, man. We heard that you went to Africa, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Africa was it was definitely an experience. The transition and getting over there took forever to make it there, but went with a group of people. I was able to hang out and just learn the educational system. And I mean, with every country that I visit, you know, I look for the development of people. I look for the development of the environment they operate in. And it's all the same, except in the U.S. It's the principle is love, family, you know.
You said except from the U.S.?
Except from the U.S. You know, I lived in other places other than Chicago. I lived in L.A. I lived in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Florida, Orlando, and, of course, Chicago.
Right.
And just when I go to other countries, I feel family. I feel the communication. I don't feel no one being standoffish. I see how they interact with one another. It's just when I'm here, even in my own city, I don't see the interaction with each other. So Africa was amazing. I mean, the food, the music, the people, the laugh, the smiles. It's just watching someone else brought energy to myself.
You ain't gonna leave us, are you? You know what I'm saying?
No, you're not going nowhere.
Because everybody's going to Africa, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to Africa. You know, I think Akon set that path.
A lot of people going to Uganda too.
Right, Akon set that path, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's saying America is the best country on this planet. Which, you know what I'm saying, we've been...
But Akon
put it straight.
Right, he's trying to make it to where it's like...
Africa have a lot of resources and all that.
Well, I'm back here in Chicago, and in Chicago, I look to duplicate myself in others. So, you know, that's the reason why I'm back. I'm spiritually led. So I believe in relationships. I find that in Africa and other countries, it's about relationship with self. That was one of the biggest things that I was missing within myself. I went to religion, looking through churches, looking through mosques, looking for something that will help me be me. And all the time should have just looked in the mirror.
Right.
And once I looked in the mirror and I had that conversation with myself, it was just like the answer. It just came from there. You know, I am my life coach. And from that point on, teaching other people the principle of how to ground themselves so that they can experience the type of life they set out to experience.
Right.
Now, I know it was one thing when you was at Windy City Underground. It was a couple of things that, a lot of things that you was talking about as far as what made you, basically like the things that you went through in life. Now, could you kind of like elaborate on some of the things that you was sharing with us on Windy City, as far as the depression and all that, just to build somebody else up out there that's going to be looking at our show. Right. You know, people need the encouragement to let them know that, hey, you're not in this alone.
People who gave up.
Well, I had to go something called the alternate route, and normally a lot of times people call me Adonis, the alternate route. Right. Because I have to find an alternate route to get them results that I'm looking for. In life, with me, I got into some trouble early on in my teenage years, and with those choices and decisions, it led me to have to go an alternate route. I went to Chicago State for computer engineering. I received all type of computer certifications from the MCSE to the Mouse certification. So I really wanted to start a career in computers.
Okay.
Right.
Because I needed to make money. I was told, hey, school, computers, money, situations, live the life, get married, have a nice house, and it totally went the opposite way for me. I started working, but based on, again, the environment I was living in and I grew up in, it wasn't a healthy environment. So it altered the choices and the decisions that I made, which left me with, as a convicted felon for a petty crime. Okay. So I couldn't get a job. So it forced me into developing my entrepreneur mindset. I never wanted to join a gang. I never wanted to sell drugs. I wasn't even the one that sold the drugs. Right. You know, but I was hanging with the wrong person. I know you hear these stories all the time.
All the time.
But, you know, it's always like the good person gets stuck with the bad thing. It's like the one who smokes cigarettes or the one that does wrong, them not the ones who catch cancer. It's the one who never smoked cigarettes.
Exactly.
It's
one
so
who
crazy, right.
The one who goes to church, it seems like that's the one who ends up with the disease or the punishment. So this particular situation that took place in my life altered my life, but it forced me to start developing small businesses in my community. So I started developing tow truck companies, buying businesses and opening businesses that didn't require a lot of money, didn't require education. I was fed up. I couldn't get a job. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm not applying for another job that says, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Right. That was really just me saying I did the crime just so I can be done with it. I didn't even have a lawyer, you know?
Wow.
And so I started opening up these businesses, hair salons, barbershops, you know, anything that would just give me...
generate some money.
Right away, and I began to get good at it. You know, I opened up uniform stores, not one, and every business started from the ground up. So I started my uniform store. That was my baby there. I started...
Now, what was your first store that you opened, very first one?
The first business?
Yeah.
The first business was a barbershop.
Okay.
A big barbershop. And when my doors opened, I had 8 barbers and 4 hairstylists before my doors even opened because of the type of person I was.
Right.
You know, I was a genuine person. So people love my character and they love my drive and things like that. But my uniform stores, that was my baby. I started selling uniforms based off a piece of paper. I would allow somebody to see which uniform they wanted. They pointed to the uniform, and I said, hey, I'll bring it back to you in a week. Okay. So I go buy the uniform, come back and sell them the uniform. And so I started selling uniforms
You got to do what you got to do,
from
right?
a piece of paper. But my motto was buy one uniform, sell it, go back and buy 3. 3, buy 9. 9, buy 27. 27, I'm like 56, 63, 109. I was all the way up
Wow, you ain't
to
doing nothing but
1,000
capture.
something uniforms. And it went from selling uniform to a paper, from on paper to my van, from my van to my house, from my house to a store. And I was rolling the uniforms in totes, so I named the business Uniform on Wheels.
Wow.
And I was bringing the uniforms into the schools. I was going to people's houses, selling them uniforms, setting up a little store in a house. So I began to love to do business. And as an entrepreneur, that's where we're going right now,
Right.
the entrepreneur mindset. So I'm just showing people I had to find another way within the amount of space and the time that was given to me. As time went on, life took off. And my business started growing, went from 1 store to 2 store. I opened up a store in Calumet City. I opened up a store on the west side. I opened up a store, I had a store out south on Stony Island. And people was calling me for nursing in services. So I was speaking now about putting on your uniform
Right,
and
right.
starting your
Wow.
day, choosing what type of uniform you want. And eventually, you know, I was already into buying real estate and things like that because as an entrepreneur, you want to do more and do more.
Right.
And
Right.
suddenly, as time went on, it happened.
Right.
The encounter happened. My mind snapped. Mental breakdown. And it was an encounter, spiritually encounter, where 2 o'clock in the morning, something woke me up and I'm hearing voices. I'm not a drug user. I'm not an alcoholic drinker. I don't abuse anything. And I'm hearing voices, and it just had me like losing my mind. Like I literally had a real life moment, which from that particular moment, it led to me going into a 5-day coma. It led to me experiencing 2 failed suicide attempts.
Wow.
Can't deal with what I was seeing. I've been admitted into 5 different psych wards. My whole life went upside down. My brother, family didn't step in. They shut all my businesses down, saying it was basically too much. No one can pick up the slack. My bills all start piling up on top of each other, and I literally was given a one-way ticket to go live in California with a friend
Okay.
to try to get myself back together.
How long was this period ago?
This took place in 2013.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Your
I
progress is amazing.
So
Yes.
right now we in 2020. So this was probably the first encounter took place in 2012, the end of 2012, and it led over to 2013, and it lasted for 3 years. So for 3 years, I literally was being tormented by, the world would say demons.
Okay.
Wow.
I was tormented with lack of understanding.
Okay.
The person you see now, I never was this person. So I wasn't selfish, I was selfless.
Right.
And people ask me all the time, what did I get out of that experience? You know, I went through so much. I was telling people for a long period of time, I felt like I literally went to hell, which is on earth, to learn it. And me learning it was really me learning myself. So in learning myself is how I'm able to help other individuals now, because I felt I went to the lowest depth.
Yes.
I gave up
Amen.
on life. I threw the keys away. It's like driving a car and closing your eyes and taking your hands off the wheel. It's like going to the top of a building. I didn't go to the top of a building. I went and jumped through a second floor window, out a second floor window.
Wow.
Literally?
Yeah, I have 18 stitches across my back
Wow.
and have like 50-something stitches across my right foot. So when your mind goes and you lose control, you out of control. That's because you never was taught to exercise self-control.
Right.
So when I come back now from California, the first thing I was doing, I was always writing my thoughts down, but I wasn't applying the thoughts to myself. I was like, oh, okay, trial and error. You touch something, it burns you. Let me write that down. Don't touch fire. You know,
Right.
oh, you say this to this person, they get upset. Oh, don't ever say this to a person that's
Right.
going to make them upset.
Right.
So I feel like I'm the experiment. I done experimented with life to the point where I know what the outcome gonna be.
Yes.
But I also know what success looks like. I also know what can happen after the fall. So I began to put my life back together. I began to take one step at a time. Coming back to Chicago, 1 second at a time. I could have stayed in California. I could have moved any place in the world. I wanted to come back to the city that did this to me.
Okay.
Wow.
The city that taught me to be this way, the city that took my life
Right.
away, the police officer, the judge, the environment, the school system. This school system created my situation in life, and I see what they did to me. I want to come back to this city, and I want to do the work here in this city,
Yes,
and
yes,
that's what brought me
amen.
back to this city, and that's what made me start working on this project called
But
I
just
Am a Life
imagine,
Coach.
just imagine how so many kids are just going through the same thing that you was going
Yes.
through, and that's why it's a good thing that you was in the school system where you can go in and you can captivate all the kids that's going through the same thing that you're going through, and you can be that leader, that teacher, which you are.
Right.
So it's a good thing because Chicago, we really need that in a public
I
school
mean, we need
system.
that.
We need that so bad,
And do you feel, because you seem like a very grounded person,
right?
do you feel if you didn't have your spiritual connection with God, would you be in the same place you at right now? And also, why is it so important to have a relationship with God?
Well, I felt that God had a relationship with me. I didn't have a relationship with God.
That's powerful.
I
That's
felt
powerful.
that He always had a relationship
Right.
with me. And He has a relationship with people. It's just we're not exercising our relationship. So our relationship with God is not being developed. You can't use it for what it's supposed to. If you don't know your power, if you don't know your power, you have no power.
Yes, yes.
And in my life, I didn't know myself, which is my inner self. That's the power. Some people call God God. Some say Father. Some say Allah. Some say Jehovah. Some say it's a force that's operating higher than yourself.
Right.
You know, I like to study Jesus. He never considered himself to be God or the Messiah. He considered himself to be lower than man. So when I take myself and put myself in that situation, I became lower than man. Because that's what humbled me. That's what grounded me to understand that I can't do anything without that strength
Yeah.
or that power. So I learned the relationship that I have now. So I live in God and through God to
Yes.
accomplish the things that I desire.
Amen.
Giving him the credit, not
Yes.
myself. It's not because I'm educated, not because I'm strong, not because I'm smart, not because of anything, because I took the time out to exercise the relationship that was already there.
Right.
It's like being married with someone. You can't be in a relationship with someone and constantly loving someone and saying, hey, this my husband, this my husband, this my husband. But your husband is like, is that your wife? He's like,
Right.
Man.
that's not my wife. That's just Satan.
Why you have to put me in it? Oh,
That's
my
just
God.
Satan,
Okay.
you know.
Wow.
So
You know
I
what?
will not be at this particular place. In the world,
Right.
I will have things, but I won't have happiness. I won't have joy. I won't have love. You cannot buy those things at Walmart or Target.
No.
Only the Spirit of God can give you
Only
that. And
that.
that's what people are experiencing in life. They think things make them happy. They want more and more and more things, but never have or acquire the right attitude.
Yeah.
The right type of peace that goes with the things they have. I don't want a relationship.
Right.
I want a relationship that resembles peace and love.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't want to just be married. I want to be happily married
Right.
in love.
Right.
The only way you're going to get those extra add-ons is your relationship.
Oh, God, yes.
So with that being said, why do you think it's so hard for people? Okay, you said earlier that you was tired of looking for a job. You was tired of getting rejected. You couldn't, you know what I'm saying, get your job because you had to always fill out that box. Are you a convicted felon? You got tired of it.
Well,
So-
okay, go ahead.
So you decided to take matters into your own hands. So for people that's hard to make that transition from being in the workforce to go ahead and be their own boss, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them first, don't stop applying for jobs. You know, the job, it's a reason you're looking for a job. It's a reason you need a job. The job resembles purpose. Everyone want to serve a purpose in somebody's life or someone organization. We all want to feel that we serve a role.
Right.
You know, and with me looking for a job, I was getting a job. Like, I was hired for several jobs.
Okay.
It's just when the background came back,
Right.
I was taking
That's the
off the
problem,
job.
right. That was the problem.
So, you know, if you listen to the word job, we all have a job to do.
Right.
And that's to be the best version we can possibly be.
Okay.
It says that the race is not given to the quick and swift,
Yep.
but the one that endures.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to endure to be who you are. You need to go through something. I'm not talking like the diamond. In order to be a diamond, you have to go through a lot of pressure.
Right.
I don't know what that pressure looks like. I'm not a diamond.
Right.
You know, talk to me about a human being.
Right.
Give me a human experience.
Right.
Tell me what happened to you to make you age so gracefully. You know, even when I look at you, you look good. You know, you look at Minister Farrakhan and you look at his face and you say, man, I want to look like that when I reach that age.
Age graceful.
You know, when you, absolutely. You know, I don't want to look like my life been just...
Beat you down.
When you're, 40,
Just don't
when you're
drag
45,
me.
you're looking like you're 85.
Absolutely. I don't want to look like, you know, the biggest misunderstanding we have is people don't ask me, who are the people in those psych wards? I've been in 5 psych wards. I went into a psych ward when I was sent to Cali. My mind went there again.
Wow.
I'm hallucinating. I'm seeing things. You know, I never took medicine. I didn't get the medication.
Wow.
Being trapped into a place and can't sign yourself out. You know, you handed over to the state. The state owned me.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Does any of my assets or anything, the state owns you.
Right.
And sometimes people say, you know, how did the state own you? Well, when you was born, your mom signed that social
Yes,
security number and that birth certificate,
Yep. You became
right?
state,
So
right.
by signing that, you are given a K through 12 education.
Wow.
So you're an investment from the moment you enter into this world.
Wow.
You owe this country. This is your country.
That's
Never looked
true.
at it like that.
So,
But it's so true.
being that
So true.
anything you invest, they invested into you before you even invested anything
Anything,
into
yeah.
how this world operates.
Wow.
So when you work a job, it's for the purpose of making America America.
Okay.
You know, we all do our parts,
But
but
we want to invest in ourselves too, though. Leave a mark behind.
that's why I invest into human capital.
Yeah.
Human capital is yourself. That's the purpose for the book. The book is we come into the world to learn.
Right.
We already learned. Some people still learning. 30,
Yes.
40, 50, 60 years old, and they still learning that what they doing is just not going to work. What they doing is not
Yes.
going to be beneficial to their family. What they doing is not going to be beneficial to their marriage. What they doing is not going to be beneficial to their dream.
Right.
Yes.
But they learning this
you
already.
hitting the point over here. That's why I did like this. You hit.
and
you
you
hitting
know
points.
what? And that's why I love your character, and I love you as well as a person because
You trying
okay.
to get all risky with me one side.
No, I'm serious. Like I love the character that you created within yourself.
Persona.
I think is amazing because even when I was going through something in life, you know, and you give me this look because I said character, right?
Hey, I love that. Keep going.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay, so when I was going through some things in life, and I was really, really mentally going through some things, and it was such, I know it was God that had you to inbox me. It was like, hey, call me. So when I called you, he was like, I want to take you out to dinner. I mean, I want to take you out to breakfast.
Don't say dinner. That's
I mean, okay,
That's what
I'm
we was
sorry.
at. We went on a date. Don't act like I be blowing up your DM.
Oh my God,
date,
no,
messing me up. I want to be married
no.
one day.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
So, so he was like, you know, let's go out to breakfast. So I was like, okay, cool. We went to this real nice place. It was phenomenal. And when we got there, you made me feel like I was somebody again, because sometimes you can be around people and they can make you feel like the lowest of the lowest.
Right.
But you came in and you spoke words and you spoke power to me, and it really put something. It's like a pearl that was put back in my heart. And I kept that. And everything you told me, I remember it from the beginning to the end. I remember it. And that right there, it really, really touched my heart. And when you spoke words to me, you said, this is what God gave me for you.
That's right.
And you spoke things in my life, and I was like, wow. And at that point, when I was ready to give up, I'm telling you, when I was right there ready to give up, when I was at my lowest and I felt bad, and I'm like, God, I need an answer. And you came right there and God used you. And you was that tool that he used, and I just appreciate that. And, we need men like you to speak life into people.
Yeah.
And it's not always about, oh, I want to sleep with this person, I want to sleep with that person. It's about speaking life into people. And that's what God is using you for in the era that we live in today, because we need people like you to speak life into somebody that's younger, to that teenager, to that 9-year-old kid, to that toddler, because now toddlers, they going through stuff too. So we need you right there where you at.
Man.
Don't move, just stay right there and let God keep using you.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, I'm humble.
Yes.
I'm humbled
Yes,
by that introduction. I remember everything you said. I remember the conversation. I love something that you said, Tone, about the relationship with God.
Right.
And me stating that I always felt his relationship with me.
Right.
I didn't exercise my relationship with him. And God is always speaking. He hears you. The question is, do you hear him?
Right.
Amen.
He hears everything that we're saying. He hears everything that you asking for. It's like an angel that's assigned to you. That whatever that's coming out of your mouth, it grabs it and said, okay. But you have to ask yourself, are you listening?
Yes.
Are you listening to what he's telling you to do?
Yes.
So with Sadie and I said, call me, we need to sit down. This is a state of emergency. Me not knowing the situation, but what's in me had to get out of me. It wasn't for me.
Right.
That only can happen when you ground yourself. One of the things I stated already is that we're learning. But see, there's a phase that's going on right now that we have to go through a season of unlearning.
Okay.
We have to unlearn what we learned. We have to unlearn that pastor relationship with God, that's his relationship.
Yes.
But see, the way we come in, we learn, oh, he's speaking to us. Hey, can I get an amen? Who am I talking to? No, that's your revelation.
Right.
That's you and God and you, and you can use that relationship to assist others. But that's not my relationship with
Right.
God. And a lot of us walk out the same way we walk in because of the way we learned this relationship. But when we unlearn this relationship and realize, you see, one of the biggest identity crisis I went through is I listened to my pastor so much, I thought he knew me. I thought we was like,
Right.
I can tell you everything about him, but look at that. A grown man believing he can tell you everything about a person who ain't never had a one-on-one conversation with you, never sat down and had
Right.
coffee with you, never drove in a car with you, never played basketball or work out. In my mind, I think I know this guy.
Right.
This guy don't even know me. Identity crisis.
Right.
So you have to go through a point where you have to unlearn
Right.
what you learn.
Is that like what you were saying in your book, hitting that reset button?
Hitting the reset button. That's why the book is here. So that it can help you unlearn what you learn. Then we relearn.
Yeah.
See, there has to be a relearning process now. But this time, you grounded. Your eyes is open, your ears is open, your heart is open. You alert, you focus, you ready. You participating, you showing that energy. That energy can empower the environment that you participate in.
Yes,
He
yes.
said the light can't be hidden. So if you grounded on who you are, it's a sense of awareness. That's what brings Sadie to awareness. She get around the right person, it happens for her. You get around the right person, Tone, it happens for
Yes,
you.
amen.
It's just like 4 millionaires and the fifth person around is almost guaranteed to be the fifth millionaire.
Yes.
You hang
Because you're
with
around
them,
the right source
Yes.
of energy. You have to
Yes.
plant yourself around the right source of energy. That's what makes me a self-help teacher, motivational speaker, as well as a successful entrepreneur at this point.
Well, I know you done motivated me, brother. You know what I'm saying? From the last time we saw you to now, I am very motivated, self-driven. So self-driven that I have
Robert
actually-
Graham. Or Robert Graham, what shirt is
All
that?
right now. What's
Nah,
going on?
Talk about that.
I am a life coach.
I
there
am
we
a
go.
life
Look
coach.
at that. That's Superman right there.
I
That's Superman.
I walk around.
Look at that
this.
muscles on him, man.
All
I
right
done brought out
now,
my-
so,
There
okay.
you go, Tom.
Bring
Man,
out there.
not yours.
You know what I'm saying? This was for my last visit when he was on Windy City Underground. My man is good.
Man.
He's blessed. And you know what I'm saying? He's a motivational speaker, and I was motivated, believe me. I don't never walk around like this,
Yeah.
but I just
Muscles
walked
out.
around and did my thing.
Muscles
Right.
out.
Right.
So it's all good, bro. Just keep doing your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing. We're going to hear a lot about you.
Already is. You know, you've been on TV and everything.
Right, but I
hear a
want to
lot.
know, is you going to come out with another book?
Well, Tom, since the rebirth of Adonis Johnson, I really been back in the kitchen cooking, using the entrepreneur mindset. I really didn't go out running around trying to promote the book. I wanted to make sure that the work was complete. Right now, I'm working on the game for I Am My Life Coach.
Okay.
The students is important, but before I get the students, when I go into the school, the first people I ask for is the teachers.
Okay.
So I do personal, professional development. I also ask for the adults, the parents. So I go to the PTA meetings because I want to assist the parents so we can connect the dots with the teachers.
Okay.
The teachers are the teachers. If they teaching your students, then you need to have a relationship with the parent so that we can form the connection and we all can be on the same page
Right.
in regards to how this development thing works, how this relationship works. So, to my surprise, I went into one of the biggest name learning centers in Orland, which is the teacher store, where all the teachers goes to get the books and things for their lessons. And I wanted to get a game or a book on character, attitude.
Okay.
There was no book on character and attitude. See, that's the money move.
Right.
If it's not there, it's your job
Right.
to create it
Yep.
and put it there.
Yeah.
Right.
There wasn't a game. There wasn't nothing on character. There was nothing on attitude. There was nothing on behavior. There was nothing that gives you the control to be the better you.
Yes, yes.
So everyone monitor you based off of what they see, but you can't fix what it is you hear. Invisible Crown is my coaching firm,
Yes, yes.
soon to be international. It's a life coaching firm. The Invisible Crown represents your character and your attitude, the way you conduct yourself. It's an invisible crown.
Now,
It's-
speaking of character, my daughter, when I got that book from you, she was 10. Let me see the book. Now
This is Spanish.
the page, when she saw this, because my daughter's a book freak, she loved books. When she saw this, I didn't even make her read it. I didn't tell her to read it. It was just in the car. When she picked this book up, she read it from the beginning to the end.
That's right.
And this right here, the cover itself is an attraction to kids. So by you creating this, I'm telling you, you created something that attracts kids. Because normally a kid will see a book like there's no pictures, like I don't want to read that.
But see, like Tom stated, when is the next book coming? I just chose to finish up the work first before the next book. The next book
Right.
will be about me. This book it's in 10 different formats right now.
Right.
I wanted to put it into proper Spanish. So I had to hire a professional translator, right? The PhD. He's a teacher at DePaul, one of the prestigious best universities,
Right.
I put it in American Sign Language DVD,
Oh, wow.
student edition, but I couldn't just put it in student edition English. I had to put it in student edition Spanish,
Right.
right? Because you can't do one without the other.
Right.
That's what I mean when I say grounding yourself as a person. You don't just want money, you want an attitude when you have that money. So you don't need the money, you need the attitude first. A lot of people think that when you get the money, then you get the lifestyle. You get the money, then you get the car. You get the money, then you get married.
You lose
No.
all that without the right attitude.
No, you get the right attitude first. It's a mindset.
Right.
You set yourself, you think of the best person. the character, how you would act as a millionaire, how you would act in a marriage, how you would act as a parent. When you see all those, the attitude, the way the king walks, the queen walks, when you say, man, my wife, she'll be like this. If I had a wife, she'll be like this. If I was a husband, I'll be like that. Be that person.
Okay.
Before you get that person,
Yes.
you have to practice who you are before you become who you are. You got to be what you want to see. That takes practice.
Man,
Yeah,
that's-
He
that's
said
true.
in the scriptures, I love to read the Bible, to be honest with you. It says, put that thing into practice. We fail as people because we don't practice ourselves enough. We just say, this is my personality. Who controlled that? Who picked that? No. You projecting yourself onto me.
Right.
And you're responding. You don't need me to give you the reason to be upset or be unhappy. You're an unhappy person. You know, you have to find what you need so you can be a happy person and let me experience that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we look for a reason to mask who we really are.